welcome to my newest video where I am upcycling this dress from my last video from last week into this little dress here. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and if you want to see how I did it, then you can keep watching. So here's the dress. It has 2 layers and I separated them. The next thing I did was I cut each layer individually 30 inches from the hem, and that's just to separate the skirt from what's going to be a new bodice with new sleeves. The sleeves I did not draft. I borrowed sleeves from a recent pattern I used. It has pleats, but I just gathered them a little bit and it worked. Since this is a sheer fabric, I used French seams, which is essentially sewing the same seam twice. So I sew it once, trim the edge, fold it right side out, and sew the seam again. And what this does is it just has a neat finish on the inside. I don't have to worry about fraying, and since the fabric is sheer, it looks a lot nicer. Not that people are staring at my armpits anyway, but you know. And then I did that on both sleeves, of course, because yeah, there are 2 sleeves and I have 2 arms, and that makes sense. The next thing I did was adjust the armhole, which was much too big, and I did that simply by pinching the shoulder seam and sewing, it looks like about 1 inch down. I kind of eyeballed this. I did not use special measurements. And then I set in the sleeves, which took a while, and like I said, I kind of had to gather the top because that sleeve pattern had pleats, but it wasn't complicated at all, and it made it easier actually. And then here I am sewing the sleeves down. Thing is to tackle the skirt, and it was pretty easy. I just pinned those 2 layers together again, the lining and the opaque, the lining and the sheer layer, and then I basted them together, which is I just sewed a long seam down in the longest stitch possible just to get those 2 layers attached to one another. And then I added elastic. One thing I did not show was after I added the elastic, I attached the bodice to the skirt, but I did, and here's what it looks like. Alright, so the dress has a completely different silhouette. It looks much better on me than on the mannequin, mostly because she doesn't have arms, poor girl. And I'm kind of thinking about some different embellishments. That's kind of the next step. It's pretty 1920s, like late 1920s feeling to me, which I really like because I don't have anything like that in my closet. And I noticed that as I was working on it, the more I was kind of referencing a dress I've seen recently in a music video, and I'm gonna link that down below because she's a relatively unknown artist, and her name is Phoebe Bridgers, and me and my fiance really like her a lot, and she came out with a video about a month or so ago called Smoke Signals, and it's like really good. It's like so good, and she's wearing like this dress that is all black with like a lace trim around the top, and it doesn't look like this, but you can kind of see where my inspiration came from, and I'm pretty excited about that actually. So the next day I tackled this lace, and I did that by hand with just a needle and thread and a running stitch, and it came together pretty quickly.
looking how I wanted, I went ahead and sewed that lace down, and I used a basting stitch for this. I'm attaching the ribbon here, I just pinned the ribbon down the basting seam that I just did, and I actually sewed the ribbon down twice, once on the outer edge and once on the inner edge, just to make sure that that ribbon would really secure there and the lace was secure and nothing was going to fall off. And then I just added a cute little bow, and then it was done. And here's how it turned out. I am so happy about this project. I haven't done an upcycle in what seems like years, but probably only a few months. But anyways, here it is. I styled it with a belt here, but I also like it without the belt. Thank you so much for watching my video, you guys, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at honeyandthestitches and subscribe and comment and everything. Thank you.